Dennis?
Sure.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Tammy, would you like to do roll call?
Yes, I will. Those present are Mayor Pro Tem Arnbrister, Council members Baker, Johnson, Kemp, and McVeigh. Staff present is myself, the city attorney, the city engineer, Lieutenant Simper, and the public works supervisor. Excused tonight is our mayor and our city planner.
Okay, thank you. Can I get an approval of the agenda, please?
Move approval of the agenda. Second.
Got an approval and a second of the agenda. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The agenda has been accepted.
Move approval of the consent agenda to include June 27, 2023 claim vouchers 7789, 7801, 3 EFTs in the amount of $51,781.50. The June 13, 2023 meeting minutes, the July 11, 2023 claim vouchers 7808 through 7818 in the amount of $9,234.85. And June payroll in the amount of $33,552.30. And the June treasury report. Vouchers have been audited 05 by 5. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, it's been approved. Approval of any claims?
They did all that in the consent agenda.
Oh, okay. And also the treasury report, that's right.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to public comment.
So we have Isaiah, but I think he.
He's right here.
Okay.
I want to be on a separate.
You're first.
I am.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Isaiah.
Well, I was wondering, so like, well,
Could you introduce yourself?
oh, my name is Isaiah. I live in Rainier.
Thank you.
And yeah, that's really, yeah. And well, I was wondering if like, wait, no.
Yeah. You just tell us what you're here today for. What would you like the council to know?
Well, I was wondering if we could like build a skate park in Rainier. Cause like I think that'd be cool. And a bunch of kids they have like bikes and like, a bunch of other stuff. And like yeah. Yeah, that's normally all I wanted to say. And I was wondering, so like across from behind Brogan's, there's like that little spot, and I was wondering if we could build one right there. Like, right there. There's like,
Did you have your drawing?
yeah, I have a drawing.
Did you want to show them your drawing?
Well, yeah, I made like a diagram. I made a diagram of what I was want to do like that. Like
Isaiah, you want to stand up and,
yeah, sorry. Like that.
You can walk around and show them.
yeah.
That's Brogan's there on the
Yeah,
top.
Brogan's is
So his
How
plan
many
is.
kids would use that in this town?
probably, well, I mean, like, a lot of kids with bikes. I have like a bunch of friends that have bikes.
How many?
It's probably like 20. And that, I thought that'd be a pretty cool idea to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just, that's really all I had to say.
Okay.
Okay, Thank you, Isaiah. If you would, give that to Tammy and let her make a copy of it. And she can make a copy for all of us, and we can take a look at it.
Did you want this back, Isaiah, or can I just keep it? Okay, perfect. Thanks, bud.
And then we'll discuss it at our next meeting.
When's that?
That's next month.
Next month?
Yeah,
Second Tuesday.
second Tuesday.
Do I have to be here?
If you're interested, that was big part.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll put that on the agenda for our next meeting, okay?
And we have Logan that wants to speak as well.
Okay,
My name's Logan. Living right here. I think it would be cool if we had a skate park here. If there's something like that in Tenino and Yelm, and we have to drive somewhere to go. I think it would be cooler if it was just in the town, so we don't have to go places to do it. Like he said, there's a lot of people here that ride, and I know. Scooters, skateboards, bikes, whatever. But I think it would just be cool to have something to do, other than just ride around. That's pretty much it.
all right. We'll put that on the agenda for our next meeting to discuss also, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Now, you boys are welcome to stay, but you do not have to if you want to for the rest of our meeting.
Live in town.
It's just city business. But you're welcome to sit through it, or you can jet if you want to, okay? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You too.
No other public comments,
Nope.
so we'll move on to staff reports. Who do I start with?
You can start with whoever you want.
Okay. Let's start with the guy on vacation.
I should have gone back. Today's my first day. But fortunately, Lieutenant Brady sent over
He did.
the staff from last month while I was on vacation, so I'll probably owe him when he goes on vacation next month. But we're holding steady. Just a couple more calls for service. 104 calls for service in the city of Rainier in the month of June. 13 case numbers pulled. Pretty consistent with the previous month with domestics. And a few suspicious circumstances, less than 30 traffic stops and a couple of DUIs. So nothing earth-shattering that occurred in the month of June. So I mean, fairly consistent.
Okay. Any questions? Adam?
So the Meyer Street crosswalk, the rapid flashing beacon, still on order. I just spoke with Mick this afternoon, the contractor. He said that it's still scheduled to be mid to late July, so hopefully in a week or two. And he said he'll install it immediately once it arrives. As you know, there was one that was a bit damaged. Mick also, he sent a proposal to fix that. So I forwarded that on to Ron, Tammy, Bob. Just he's awaiting if you want to go forward or not with that. So, but I'll leave that in your guys' hands to directly hire him if you wish. So.
Yes. Answer's yes. I forwarded it to his insurance company. Do you
Okay.
want me to reach out to Mick, or do you want to?
Why don't you? Yeah,
Okay.
At this point, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just let him know that.
That one, there will be a delay because I was talking with Nick on that as well. Once he gets approval of it, then he has to order it. And I'm just hoping they can get it up before the school starts.
Yeah.
If we can try to do it before something, that would be great because that is our primary school crossing that day, like Simon, so. Yeah, but keep your fingers crossed and it could go up before the school starts.
Yeah.
All right. Besides that, I haven't mentioned the water system plan in a while. These things, they're just required planning documents from DOH, so they often, get pushed aside for more important, urgent projects going forward. But that has been progressing, and we're on chapter 5 at this point, 5 out of 9, so we're about halfway there. Yeah. That's it for me.
All right, Adam. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ron?
Okay. we've been busy. I have a written report, so you can, in months, I don't really have anything to add other than that written report, other than we've been busy this summer.
Yeah, I've seen all you guys out there
Oh, yeah, we're
bust,
home.
busting the rears.
It's been good, though.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
has.
people have been really receptive and good, good comments, and it reflects what's happening, so we appreciate that. That's all. Unless someone has questions.
Any questions for Ron? Dennis?
I attended CRPC last Friday. Couple of things that may or may not interest us. They're proceeding forward with the plan, proposed plan, to fix I-5 from Mounts Road to Tumwater, Marvin. That's probably the way out. We're moving along. The other thing is rural transit funding and service update. They've gotten more money, which is good, so they're expanding service. They're gonna now have Saturday service. They're gonna have service from Rainier to Yelm, which they don't have now, and service from Tenino to Centralia. So they'll be able to hook up with the intercity transits. They complimented Rainier because we've been strong supporters since the inception of rural transit. We're the first city or organization that put up signs that identify stops. And so they like that. So I, in the back of my mind, think that maybe during budget season, we might think about the possibility of buying or funding a bus shelter to put in our stop. You know, they're trying to find grant money to do that. Maybe we can help somewhere. The other thing, last Thursday evening, we had a candidate forum. The city sponsored it. The senior center let us use their facilities. Both candidates came and had their wives or spouses. One was actually a fiance. Anyway, they came. They each had 10 minutes to speak, and then the audience asked questions. Unfortunately, we only had a dozen people. It would have been nice to have more. At least they got a chance to say a few words, get their background out. And so now we just have to wait. Ballots come out tomorrow. And we just have to wait and see what happens on August 1st. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Dennis. Any questions for Dennis? Mr. Ron?
Just compliment Dennis for his emceeing the forum. I think he did a great job and stuff, and it was very informative, at least knowing a little bit of the history of people running. And that's all I got.
Any questions for Ron? George?
Timberland Library had the magician at the senior center last Friday, and it was a really good show for the kids. It's a lot of fun. That's all I got.
Any questions for George? Miss Baker?
No, nothing for me.
Any questions for Miss Baker? Mr. B?
Mr. Mayor, we, as you probably are aware, that the legislature fussed over accessory dwelling units a lot to make affordable housing. And of course, the price of housing is driven by its availability and the demand. That always will be, you can't violate that rule without making a mess out of things. But at any rate, I have read through the legislation they passed, and I suppose the good news is that you don't have to permit accessory dwelling units if they don't hook to a public sewer. However, we do permit accessory dwelling So, we probably have to change our ordinance a bit to get it into line with the new requirements. And I assume that you want to keep having them because otherwise people will come in and they'll want to short plat their lot or something like that, and that's expensive. So, but we'll have more on that next meeting. So you might think about it. And skate parks are about $350,000. So I'm sure the engineers will be happy to tell us all about it. But, you know, it does kind of concentrate all the jerks in one spot. Sheriff.
And in Jones' case, the druggies.
Yeah. When I worked for the city of Kennewick, they built a skate park and built it right next to the police station. And it, but they behaved themselves. They couldn't resist coming there.
So if the city puts in money to build it, does that mean they're liable if things happen to kids while they're out there skating?
Not if you don't charge. And as long as it's built to appropriate standards. That doesn't mean you're not going to get sued, but it's usually easier to get off. It's called the recreational immunity statute. And our Supreme Court drills holes in it all the time for all sorts of reasons. Such as it's not there. But I haven't heard that there's a big liability issue with things. So you can even put a sign on it and say, you know, that's your own test.
Yeah.
And they're obviously dangerous because they're made out of cement.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't survive a week. That's about all I got. That's enough, isn't it? That was more than anybody else got.
Yeah.
Except maybe Dennis.
Well, can we put temporary housing for the sheriff to live by the skate park?
Well, what you need to do is just pour a slab, and then you need to build, 120 square feet that you don't need to build a permit?
200.
200, okay, you build them at 200, you don't even have to get a building permit.
You have a great idea. I don't know, however, that it needs to be on the agenda though, because I don't know what we would decide at a council meeting. I feel like that needs to be
Oh, that's gotta be something,
Maybe
it's
a-
gotta be budgeted.
Right.
It's gotta go into probably your park plan.
exactly.
I didn't see it in the park
Maybe
plan.
we should tell them we'll put it on our, when we do our retreat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's something we can talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll let them know. They're part of my popsicle gang, so I
Yeah.
see them. Yes, so
Okay.
I see them often.
So,
I kind of felt like they
well,
Good luck with that.
the civics lesson for them should be out where do we get the funding for it?
Yes,
You know,
yes.
they got the nerve to come in and ask us for it. So,
I-
They have to understand
Well, ask somebody
where
for the
money
money.
comes from.
Yeah.
Yes.
In Tenino, they work giving the grant with Tony Hawks.
What's this?
In Tenino, they work with Tony Hawks, getting some grant money.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does. Tony Hawks does that a lot.
Oh.
I think he was involved in Yale also.
Who's Tony Hawk?
Champion skateboarder. The kids all know.
If you're a skateboarder, you really worship him.
I said, I would hope there'd be more than 20 kids who had skateboards in this town.
Yeah, that's a lot.
He
Yeah.
was counting his
Actually, there's not a lot of skateboarders in
I haven't seen.
Well, there's not a lot of sidewalk in town.
I think they would. I think they'd use it for their bikes.
Yeah.
I see them a lot on Tipsy Lou.
There's not a lot.
All right. Anybody have anything, questions for Bill? I don't have anything. Tammy?
Tammy. So, council retreat. It's time to start thinking about that. Last year, we did an evening, which Bob thought would be a good idea for this year. So we have tentatively, we thought maybe the second the fourth Tuesday in August when we would normally have a council meeting, if we want to do that evening for our council retreat. So that is August 22nd, and we thought about 3 to 7. You guys, if you want to let me know now, or you can just check with your spouses or whatever. And okay, you're good? Okay.
I thought it was okay in September.
He told me August.
He's losing his mind.
Yeah,
did-
August is roundup day.
I thought August was a little early,
Yeah,
but
no,
Yeah.
I thought it was that fourth Tuesday in September.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that would probably not be a good idea, because that's just 3 days before Roundup and Bluegrass.
So September 26th, it looks like he's looking? Okay.
Yeah. I like
So does that date work for you guys as well?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll make it work.
Okay.
Brother roundup week.
Yeah.
3 to 7, you say?
Yes.
September 26th.
September 26th, yes. Okay. We did order cameras for Wilkowski Park. It is through, I believe, ADT, and it's gonna work similar to the cameras here. So it was about $10,000 for those cameras, which we got a grant through the Small Cities Grant to cover part of that. So that's helpful. However, the antennas are on back order. So those will be showing up soon, hopefully, and we'll get to install those cameras so we can see what's going on down there when we're not there.
Will that feed
And-
into your system?
Yes, it will. Mm-hmm.
And it will record?
Yep. Mm-hmm. It works pretty exactly the same as these here. So, and the third thing, which is a little bit of a change of plans, Dennis, than we have talked about, is the Grand Marshal for the parade this year. Bob and I thought asking Frank, our SRO, to be the Grand Marshal would be a good idea since he's freshly retired. So, unless anybody has any problem with that, I was going to reach out to Frank tomorrow to see if he would be willing to do that.
No, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
I do
Let's
too.
start that.
kids will love it.
Okay.
And we can save Mr. Library come next year.
When he actually retires, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, okay, perfect. That's all I had.
All right. Any questions for Tammy? All right. We don't have anything under new business. Anybody have anything you want to bring up?
I do for old business.
All right, we'll move on to old business.
I've been doing some research and just curiosity, reference our sports court project that's turned hold because of cost. And from what I'm finding doing the research is tennis is kind of backing off. Pickleball is now worldwide. It's a major thing. In fact, the guy in Minnesota just bought a mall and turned it into a pickleball facility. Full of pickleball courts upstairs, downstairs, with food and whatever. So it's a big thing. So I'm thinking that maybe what we ought to look at is shrinking our project, dropping off the tennis court and doing the 2 pickleball courts and the new fencing for the pickleball courts and the basketball courts.
Or we could do 4 pickleball courts too. That would be less than the tennis court, allow us, I think.
Well, let's make sure that they use 2 of them, and if it's that popular, we go for a grant, add 2 more. Because we got room. Something to think about.
Well, that's a good idea. I like that. Okay.
I don't know what we do with that information. Do you? Do we?
Maybe send it to our engineers to figure out what cost savings would be.
What do you think, engineer?
Well, it would be nice that maybe know in the town who plays tennis. y'all play tennis?
I don't know anybody who plays tennis, but I just,
Yeah.
I've heard no blowback on people who don't want to put a tennis court in. Wonder why we're doing it, wasting city money.
I don't know anybody who plays tennis.
No.
I haven't seen anybody out there in years playing tennis.
What's your opinion, Adam, on if we essentially kind of redesign? Is it a simple process if we just kind of wipe the tennis court out and move the pickleball courts in? And as far as your end, is it easy?
Like add 2 new pickleball courts? So
No.
4 total, or-
No, just wipe the tennis court out of the plan.
Shrink it down.
Yeah, that could take some work. It's just, it was all designed with the storm as well, old trench and,
Right.
yeah. It's a whole area of impervious surface that was accounted for.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, it can be done, sure, but it'd have to be scaled back methodically. Yeah.
Can we, is that something you would be pretty easy to do, or?
I mean, in the project, there is an economy of scale, so it's, the more that you're building there, the cheaper it gets, per square foot. You're eliminating 2 lights as well, so you'd only have 4. 2 for the basketball court as well, which the grant for park maintenance opens next month or towards the end of this month, and they're going to give more details on the requirements of that. But we're hoping we can apply for that to possibly get the basketball court resurfaced and maybe the lighting in there if they'll go for that.
Nice.
So that could take some weight off of the project as well.
Okay. Yeah, let's put that on the agenda for next meeting. To discuss with Adam.
I think that grant opens at the end of this month. Do you remember, Tammy?
I thought it had to be applied for by the end of the month.
Yeah, but they were going to give more details about the application opening, and then I think it's a few weeks open.
I didn't look at the exact.
Yeah, we're waiting to hear more details on it, but
Okay.
yeah, maybe by next meeting I can talk more about that when we know.
Okay, yeah, let's just go ahead and put that on the agenda and come up with plans, some ideas and stuff that we can
What
deal
we-
with Adam about.
What we need to keep in mind, 2 things actually. Mike Lohman from the county called me last week because he was aware that our project got extended. And so he was making sure we were aware that the money was supposed to be used by the end of the year. And I said that was our question before we suspended the project, to make sure that we could keep the money. And he was going to do what he could to extend the end date on that
Okay.
donation that they were giving
Yeah, Bob
us.
said he was working with them on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I need to actually call Mike and see if he was able to do that. The second thing is our COVID money has to be spent or accommodated for by the end of 2024, which will be here before we know it.
Yeah.
If we're talking projects this size. So we probably should act sooner than later on what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Because if we put it out to bid in the fall, it's going to be this time next year when we're probably still having this conversation. So
I just like to add that, if we're talking entire redesign to cut down on storm and to scale everything back to eliminate the tennis court, I'd recommend that you eliminate the tennis court, but you just add 2 pickleball courts. So basically it takes the same, then you're not scaling back the storm. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe.
Especially if you can get alternative funding for the restoration of the basketball court and the lighting, then
I
I
don't
think it
see-
would still come in way cheaper.
Does Yelm or Tenino have pickleball courts?
not that I'm aware
Okay, so
of.
that might mean people coming here. I don't know.
I don't know anything about a pickleball court, but I'm just thinking that if it's gonna end up costing a ton of money to shrink it down, it may be more bang for the buck to go ahead and add 2 in place of the tennis and go that route.
I don't see that being a cost difference though. It's still the same surface area and lighting.
Right,
It'd just be more different lines on the pickleball court than the tennis court.
right. Yeah, tennis courts are roughly the same as 2 pickleball courts.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know if you guys want to ask in the interim, ask people, are you interested in tennis? Because I look at other cities and other cities have mostly tennis courts. And they're adding pickleball courts, but is it a trend or is it gonna, I mean, putting 4 pickleball courts in, are they really all 4 going to be used? Like,
Right.
yeah.
Well, I think the object is to take money off of the project. So to do that, we need to shrink the project. If we just replace one for the other, we're not shrinking the project. So,
Well, I know every time I go through Olympia, I make a point to drive by where their courts are. There's a tennis court, and next to it are the pickleball courts. I've only seen people on the tennis court one time, but there's always people on the pickleball.
At the Woodruff court. The Woodruff court, the newer court.
The one I'm talking about is there, Harrison.
Yeah, it's close to there. I will say, yeah, I've been by there a few times too, and I always see people at the pickleball courts, but not the tennis courts. So it would be a discussion and kind of get
Sports, Washington State.
Yeah.
Pickleball is
Mhm.
invented here.
yeah.
Yeah, we're in the Whidbey Island, yeah. But it's worldwide now. It's become a major thing.
So it's disc golf now, I guess.
So should we revisit this at the August meeting, or should we?
Yeah, let's. Yeah, I was waiting to hear from Bob what he found on the funding from the county.
Right.
That was the question about how we want to move forward.
I think he didn't get a response from the commissioners. So I think that Mike with the Public Works, I think he called me as a, I don't think they're related. I think he was just calling me for his information.
Okay.
So, so I'll reach back out to him. I meant to do that today. I apologize. So I'll have an answer for you.
Excellent.
It should
Yeah.
be on the agenda, so because there's budget implications.
Yeah.
If we're gonna have the engineers start massaging plans and changing.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things. If we, I don't want to bet on that park maintenance money. Yeah, we don't know enough about it, but it looks like it could be eligible for the basketball court and maybe the lighting there too. And that could maybe take enough of the weight off of the project as it is.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
I think if we discuss it and move on it, we can maybe put this out to bid this fall, winter, not wait till next year and then be another year behind. I mean, we could conceivably put it out to bid, have them start working in the spring.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, with the acrylic surfacers, it would, I guess, they work 3 months out of the year for weather, and they're on vacation the rest of the year. So it would be nice to schedule that sooner than later.
Yeah.
People didn't expect, including most of the contractors, didn't expect them to be all booked this
Right.
year, but a lot of ports are being built, I guess. So.
Yeah. A lot of money being thrown around, so everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll add it to the August agenda, and then we'll decide which route we're gonna go. We're going on a route, we just don't know which route.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Is that all you got?
That's all I have. Is that all for your old business?
That's it. I move adjourned.
The meeting is adjourned at 5:33.
So,
Yeah.